Hi everyone, Tom was here back at it with another Steel City Con video. This time the August 2022 edition is in the books officially, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the people that I met, show off my pickups and things I got, discuss a little bit about the new layout of the show and to get everybody's thoughts on that, and also discuss my last video from April of 2022 and the fallout, what happened with the Chevy Chase situation. So we are going to get into all of that on Tom Was Here.
They called him Machete.
Hey, how do you like this? I'm Dan Israel, and you're watching Tom Was Here.
Okay, Steel City Con August 2022 edition in the books officially, and before we get into that, I do want to address what occurred at the April 2022 con. If you had watched my last video, it was a Chevy Chase situation that occurred where I was told by a couple different people, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but long line for Chevy, had a autograph and a photo op, said he'd be back after the photo op, wasn't back after the photo op, and the fallout of that and kind of what occurred. But did want to address what occurred with Steel City and how they handled it. I felt that their response was really good. They offered to credit my tickets from the April 2022 show. They offered me free tickets for this show, the August 2022 edition, and they credited the Chevy Chase photo op. And I felt that they were legitimately sincere. It's not like a life and death situation. I felt that their response was adequate, and even more so. The only downside is that I bought the tickets third party, so they couldn't credit me back for the tickets for the April 2022 show. But they still did give me and the boy 3-day passes for this August show, and credited back the Chevy Chase photo op, the Chevy Chase autograph. So I felt that that was solid enough for me. As I mentioned in the video, I'm not one to rock the boat a ton. I just really was looking for a gesture. Obviously it's an unfortunate situation. It worked. I felt they handled it in the best way possible. But also did want to. I tend to be a very impatient person, and it started to between the months between cons. What was that? April 2022 to now August of 2022. I go. In my mind, this is how I think. I go, what if they don't get Chevy back? What if something happens with Chevy? What if so many things that come up as and I kind of had in my head not only what I was going to get autographed, but a place to put it up. Which doesn't usually happen, to be honest, in most situations. Like, as you see, this wall is mostly full. I don't know where I'm going to put some of the other stuff for some of these future cons and future pickups that I get. So, I got impatient, scoured the wide world of eBay, and found, kind of bid sniped, to be honest with you, exactly what I was going to get signed by Chevy, which was a Clark Griswold jersey. Now, it's not the one that I have. The one that I have is a Chicago Blackhawks CCM jersey. This is one of those kind of knockoff China jerseys, which, to be honest, I have quite a few of. It's not nothing new in my collection. I acknowledge they're not authentic jerseys, but got it for $99. Which was way less than the Chevy price for the autograph. So I saw it, the bid winding down. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pull the trigger on this. And so I did that, got it in a frame. Beckett witnessed COA, and yeah, that's it. I put it in the frame. If you notice, I also have the Chevy Chase autograph ticket in that frame as well, because I figured, hey, everybody turned theirs in for their autograph. I didn't exactly turn it in for mine. That's a rare item. I'm going to add it to the frame there. Why not? Why not? So, in that sense, they credited me back for a Chevy, and now I got a Chevy. Now, I do hear he's coming back for the December show, but I got Chevy. So I don't necessarily need to get something else from Chevy. But as it just so stands, a few weeks ago, I was rolling around in these Facebook groups that do autograph, buy, sell, trade, and they happen to have the other item that I wanted Chevy Chase to sign. The backup item, the item that if I didn't have a jersey signed, I would get this signed. And I figured, heck it, why not? It was a reasonable price. It was, again, less than Chevy Chase autograph prices are at Steel City. So I pulled the trigger on this. A 16 by 20 of the from National Lampoon's Vacation. Also Beckett, is it Beckett Witnessed? Beckett Authenticated. So not Beckett Witnessed, but sorry folks, park's closed for 2 weeks, that and him punching the moose, which I thought, so to be honest, there's not really anything Chevy Chase at the moment that I'll have for him in December. I don't think there's anything that I'll have that I need from him to sign in December. Of course, that could change. You know how things are. So, that is a Chevy Chase fallout. In case you guys were wondering, I didn't want to too much into it, but did want to address that because I know people were asking, hey, what happened with that Chevy Chase situation? So I did want to address it. So let's talk about August 2022 edition of Steel City Con. Before we get into any of the pickups and anything, what's everybody's thoughts on the mixed between the hotel and the convention center? I'm a little bit torn, to be honest. I did like that you could move around the convention center, but I don't know if this was the true test. And I say that because Steel City did run into a lot of cancellations, especially a lot of late cancellations. Michael C. Hall from Dexter was a blow. I think that certainly didn't help. So that one was tough, I'm sure, because that would have drew a lot more people in. Same with Jennifer Grey. I know she would have drew some people in. And there were quite a few others that actually canceled. And then the unfortunate Anne Heche situation that happened. So they definitely didn't have the full gamut of people there. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of celebrities there, including some notable names, but I just don't think it was the same test that the April 2022 show was, even with the Randy Quaid and Christy Brinkley cancellation, because if they were there, then you would have wanted to have them in the hotel before. But with this one, no one's line, there was only one line that I waited in for probably longer than a half hour. So I didn't feel the need for, say, a VIP pass for this one, and I think that just boils down to the fact that there were less people there because of the Michael C. Hall and Jennifer Grey and a few other cancellations. So I don't think it was the true test in the hotel. It'll be interesting to see if they use the hotel for the December show, because it's one thing to do this in summertime. They do a lot of situations where they rely a lot on the outside. There were, in this case, I had a photo op that was outside and lined up for the photo to pick it up outside. Can you do that in December? They had you do it in April, but April was cold and sometimes rainy. But in December, could they actually do this in December? I don't think they can. Or maybe they can. I don't know. Maybe they'll have you walk from the convention center. I mean, it's not that far, but in December it could get pretty cold, bad weather. It's hard to say. I'm curious about everybody's thoughts on this, and let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you're a vendor, or if you're just someone that was in Steel City, did you find that with some of the names being in the hotel and not in the convention center, that there was less foot traffic in the convention center for your selling things or buying things, or did you? If all your people that you wanted to meet were in the hotel, did you even bother going to the convention center to see what was over there, to see who was, buy anything? Or I'd be curious to get everybody's thoughts on that. Let me know in the comments down below, because I'm fascinated by it. So, let's talk about who I met at Steel City. And I went on Friday. Friday was the first day. And I went on Friday. And to be honest, I got the vast majority of people that I wanted to get on Friday. As Friday is considered a light day. And to be honest, there wasn't really a super long line that I was in. The longest probably was Robert Patrick. Now, I had met Robert Patrick before, and Robert Patrick, the reason why I wanted to meet Robert Patrick again is because, the boy had not met Robert Patrick. And Robert Patrick is an interesting character to meet. I mean, he will talk. He's what I would call a conversationalist. He can talk to anyone about anything. Like if there's a situation where you're at a bar and you're going to meet, you're just sitting there and some stranger starts chatting you up and you're chatting about anything. Say, sports teams or whatever, and you can have a full-blown conversation with someone you've never met. That's Robert Patrick. The guy's cool. I mean, the guy's he's a fun guy to meet. He's cool. And I was like, you know what? Since the boy hadn't met him, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get something signed as well. So what I did get signed was, I found this on eBay. This was a $6 eBay find. And yeah, it's the NECA version of the T1000 Terminator 2. The only downside is that I had a photo op right after this, so I left and kind of closed the book, and I accidentally smudged the T1000 portion of the logo. So the T1000 portion of the logo kind of got smudged onto this side, and here's something where you can let me know in the comments down below. Somebody said, Daniel actually, that I, in the Pennsylvania Autograph Collectors community with, he went, just wipe it off. You can just wipe it off and just, and it'll be fine. Because, I mean, the autograph's intact. It was just that the 1000 on the thing got smudged. So, should I keep that? I mean, it's for me. I'm not getting rid of it or anything. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that below. But, I mean, it's still pretty cool. It's still nice. It will be going on the bookcase of honor somewhere. So, yeah. The other person that I met on Friday was Wayne Knight. Wayne Knight, Newman from Seinfeld, and of course Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park. And to be honest, this is the first year that I can remember where I actually got items to sign instead of getting just the picture on the table, or if I just happen to have a poster laying around for someone, or if I just grabbed a poster real quick from one of the vendors in the main room. This time I decided I was going to, actually get people stuff to sign. So in this case, I was kind of scrolling around and thought, a lot of people have the Jurassic Park license plate. A lot of people have the Newman pop and those other things. What if I had something slightly unique? What if I had the Barbasol can, the one that basically started the events of Jurassic Park? They make a replica version of this. It's very expensive. It's like $400 or something for the studio grade quality prop. I wasn't looking for all that. What I was looking for was if they had just like a version that's kind of like it, but it kind of looks the part, but it's not 100% there. And I happened to find one. Etsy actually had one. They had this. So this is a 3D printed can. They 3D print the entire can, and then you buy the label from somebody else in the description. Label's like $2, and the can's like $50 or $60. But they 3D printed this, and the cool thing about this is that it takes a little bit longer than the actual movie version, and probably the studio prop version as well, because it is 3D printed, but it actually unscrews off. And they have vials with liquid in them. The liquid looks legit. They have them labeled and everything. And it's a 3D printed can that I got signed by Wayne Knight, which is very, very cool. Basically, they said it's not, on Etsy, they're like, it's not studio quality. It's bookcase quality. And I went, that's exactly what I need, because that's where it's going. But yeah, that's a pretty unique, cool item. And the fact that I got Wayne Knight, Dennis Nedry himself, the one that kind of started the events of Jurassic Park, I figured that is a pretty cool one to have there. Wayne Knight was really cool. He was very friendly to me. He was very friendly to the boy. And it was a cool experience to meet him. He's in good shape. He's in great shape, actually. So then we had to, after meeting Wayne Knight, after meeting Robert Patrick, we had to run outside because there was a photo op with John Carpenter. John Carpenter, the master of horror. They even had a thing recently where somebody called Jordan Peele the greatest war director of all time, and he was like, no, I won't tolerate any John Carpenter slander. The man's a legend of horror films. He is the Mount Rushmore of horror directors. And debate me. Please let me know in the comments down below if you feel he is not on that Mount. The Mount Rushmore to me is Hitchcock, John Carpenter, Wes Craven, and George A. Romero. Fight me. Fight me in the comments down below if you think somebody else should be included in there. But anyway, the photo op was outside, and it took place with the original station wagon that Michael Myers stole from the psychiatric hospital that is completely restored and re-kept. So it's not like a replica car, it's the original car. So that was a situation that I could not pass up on. And happy to have met the legend in John Carpenter. Now with photo ops, if you're not familiar, if you've never been to a Comic-Con photo ops, you kind of get escorted in, escorted out. Like they're pretty quick. Like you're on your way, so you don't get to like have a conversation with him like you would at like a table. But he was really cool. It's funny. They said, I don't know if they do this to make the celebrity look good or what the reasoning is, but they go, all right, announcement. Do not touch Mr. Carpenter. No fist bumps, no handshakes. And then he shows up, and literally the first person walks up, and he goes, he puts his hand out to shake. I don't know. Is that like the company that does this for him? Or is this something where he says, hey, I don't want to do any fist bumps or anything? Or is that their handlers talking for them? Because I can tell you, he shook hands, fist bumped, they're like, don't touch, it was the Arrested Development. No touching, and literally every person either gave him a fist bump, including me at that point. I figured, hey, I was in line, everybody else done it. Why not me? Fist bump the boy. He did it. So, I mean, like, why not? Why not? So, did not get anything signed by him, because I actually got his signature on this Halloween poster out of the CPA box. What I did, though, is I added Sandy Johnson, because Sandy Johnson was there. She's the original Judith Myers from the original Halloween movie. And now I have 4 signatures. Out of the CPA box, I got John Carpenter and Kyle Richards in a mystery box, those 2, and I added Sandy Johnson and Nick Castle on the last show. So now I have a nice cast-signed thing that's coming through. They also were going to add the other kid, Tommy, who was actually, they announced him for Steel City, and then the next day, they were like, he canceled. I don't know what happened there. It's cool to now have 4 people added to that. The last thing I did was I hit up the table on Friday, and I didn't know this at the time when I grabbed this, but they were doing a buy one get one for the 11x17 posters from previous shows. So I wanted to get my Patreon, John Bailey, a poster, because I had I have this tier on my thing that if you, for $10, you get a mystery item every other month. It used to be every month, but then he changed it to, he was like, you don't have to send me one every month. Send me one every other month. So I did change it to every other month, but I, of course, missed a month. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get him a poster. So I got him this Mick Foley Hall of Fame poster. Kind of has the Mick Foley with this kind of like a frowny face. I thought he did like a have a nice day smiley face, but so a Mick Foley one on there, and they were running a buy one get one special. The boy was bummed because one of the first people that cancel on this was Ernie Hudson. From he's like, I want to be a Ghostbuster. We had met Dan Aykroyd at a vodka thing a few years back, like down the road. So he's like, why don't you give me Ernie Hudson? And there happened to be this Ernie Hudson one sitting on the table, and he's like, I'll grab that. So got these 2 for $30, which is a bargain. But this one will be going to John Bailey. So John, if you're watching, this one will be coming in the mail to you this week. And this one is for the boy, for his room and his ever-growing collection that he's running out of space on. Now, let's get into Saturday. Saturday, I really was, to be honest, I was kind of trying to wipe my, I was trying to get everything done by Saturday. Saturday, I came in and I was like, okay, there's really only 2 people left to meet that I was going to meet, and they were both there, not Friday. So, I mean, I would have met them Friday and been done Friday maybe. But in this case, Saturday came in, and the first one I wanted to meet was Alicia Silverstone. Alicia Silverstone, of course, Cher from Clueless, Batgirl from Batman and Robin, and many other things, and every 90s Aerosmith video, I swear, it seems. But I stated on the record, I did a YouTube video unboxing for this one, and basically stated on the record that Alicia Silverstone was my first celebrity crush. Everybody has one. That was mine. I'm sure you might say, well, really? In that age? I thought you'd be like Jennifer Love Hewitt. Jennifer Love Hewitt was 1B for me. And if Jennifer Love Hewitt shows up to Steel City at some point, I will happily be there. Because I did love Jennifer Love Hewitt, but she was not my first. Alicia was my first. So I had to meet her. And I, to be honest, was going to get something signed with my name on it. I don't know everybody's thoughts on this, but a lot of these items, in fact, all of these items on the wall are not personalized to me. I don't have a ton of things that are personalized to me. I think every collector kind of goes through this at some point or another, where you have to determine if everything you have, it has your name on it, or if nothing has a name on it. I kind of went the nothing route, but to be honest, when I stepped in that line, I was going to get something personalized to me. Because I figured, well, it's my first celebrity crush, I'm going to have her sign something for me. Then the boy steps in. And he goes, wait, you have Clueless poster? You already have something. I want something. I like Batman and Robin. Now, one of the boys, especially when he was younger, his favorite Batman movies were the Batman Forever, Batman and Robin movies. And I think because they're like kind of cartoony and over the top. I know a lot of people do not like those movies, but he really enjoyed them. So he's like, well, she's Batgirl. So I withered on this one. I figured he's right. I do have something signed by Alicia Silverstone in her most famous, iconic role of Clueless. Do I necessarily need something that is also autographed to me? So I went, okay. All right, boy, fine. So again, pick something off the table, and he picked the Batman and Robin theatrical poster, of which she is Batgirl. And yeah, it's really nice, very, very cool. And met Alicia Silverstone. Very sweet, very, very cool to meet. She really gave the time to everybody. I've never run into this too much at this particular con. I've heard stories and seen situations at other cons where people just kind of rush you along. Not everybody, what I call, when you're handed your receipt, not everybody talks to you after they hand you your receipt. And what I mean by that is when a celebrity does the photo, when they sign the item, that's it. Their work is concluded. Their business is done with you. They could easily have been on to talk with, to go to someone else and sign. But she, after the photo and after signing things, we had a conversation for like a minute or whatever with a bunch of people in her line, which does not always happen. In fact, it rarely happens. You kind of like just do your thing and you're on your way. So I recommend anyone to meet her. She's awesome. And look, I got a picture with the boy. He was talking about, he's like, well, I mean, yeah, she's Batgirl and all, but I don't know if maybe, this was earlier. He was like, I don't know if I necessarily have to meet her or whatever. And I was like, fine, don't. Selfish me. As my first celebrity crush to just get the picture myself. He was holding this over my head the entire time we were in line. He was like, oh, because he knew that she was my first celebrity crush. He's like, oh, you're getting butterflies? Oh, you're getting, he's like, you're getting nervous? You get nervous? Your palms sweaty? You think? You think? I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her you had a crush on her. And I'm like, dude. So anyway, when we were talking to her after, she was pointed out, she was asking me if I ever pinch his cheeks when he was younger. And I was like, well, yeah, he used to have giant cheeks when he was a baby. And she's like, well, he's so cute. And the puff chest came out, like he was like, he felt like, but not for the reason you think. You would think he would be like, oh, that's very cool that she called me cute. But no, it's to hold over my head that she called him cute and not me. But I tried to explain to him, do you understand that when you're an adult, you can say a child is cute, but you can't say another adult is cute unless you're like dating them or in a relationship? Don't you get this? He's like, yeah, but she said I was cute though. He's such a goober. Anywho, she's very...
He hates me very much.
She's very sweet to meet, and it was cool to have met her. But yeah, you get Jennifer Love Hewitt as well. I wouldn't mind. But then I can meet the 1A, 1B of my 90s celebrity crushes. But yeah, beyond that, the only other person that I was going to meet on Saturday was Danny Trejo. And while we were kind of, after we had met Alicia, and her line was pretty steady long, I went over to the hotel because Danny Trejo was at the hotel, and it was his first day there. And his line was the first line that I saw that was one where you would probably need a VIP. It was out the door of their ballroom. And I went, ooh, woo-woo. I went, okay, all right, well, maybe we'll push this off to Sunday. So, and to be honest, before I get into, getting into Sunday, I met a few of the people that were like kind of the notable names already. And there were a couple of people I would have met if there weren't other people at the show. Like, I had already met Zachary Levi at Wizard World. We have a photo op with him, so didn't really meet him this time. And I would have probably met the guys from The Walking Dead, Jesus, Tom Payne, and Cooper Andrews from Walking Dead and Shazam. But I just, the money can only go in so many places. So they also had the girl from Stranger Things. And funny, the boy was like not really interested, but loved Stranger Things.
No, I wasn't interested because of her line was so long.
Well, they added. It was Chrissy is who it was from season 4 of Stranger Things. She was only in one episode of Stranger Things. Now, did she play a notable part in that season 4? Arguably, yes. Like, she did. But I mean, her line was pretty lengthy. Surprisingly lengthy, in fact. I could have caved and we could have met a few other people, but I was just like, no, we're not going to do that. So we kind of walked through the vendor area. We did come across what seems to be a tradition of the boy is that a tradition that started in April of 2022. We came across a vendor that is selling these like replica sports championship rings, and he decided he was gonna grab one, and he grabbed a Philadelphia Phillies one in April. And this one that he did this time is the Los Angeles Lakers 2020 championship ring. And this is something. I mean, I look, it's a replica ring. It was like 25 bucks, something
25.
like that. And it is impressive. It's really
show
impressive.
Me under. Show
yeah.
me.
I mean, you can kind of...
all the retired jerseys.
Yeah, like they have all the different jerseys that are retired in there. And for a replica ring, I mean, it's gaudy. I mean, it's super gaudy. Like, it is, like, massive. Like, this ring is...
It's like, I said to people that I was one of those people who, like, when they're on the other side of the court, I go sweep the floor.
Yeah.
For the LA Lakers. And
yeah,
I said
so the boy had come up with a backstory about how he was, part of he got cut, right before, he was on like the G League squad and still got access to the ring. But yeah, I mean, look, these are really cool. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. You can debate them all you like, well, it's fake, but yeah, it's kind of awesome. As a novelty, that's a really cool pickup, and I'm not mad at those. And yeah, now we got all the Steelers rings as replicas prior to, so we have all those, and now he has a small collection himself of these rings with this, and he was wearing it around all weekend like a goober. He's like, oh, that's fascinating, interesting.
I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't like
So
that.
yeah, so that rolls into Sunday, and Sunday was Danny Trejo Day, and well, that was really the only person that was left to meet of who I was going to meet. So we went in, and we we got a late start. Usually, you'd like to get there on Sunday early because a lot of people duck out pretty early. But we got there around like noon, I think, which is pretty late. So I looked, and we went to the hotel. Danny was not there. He had photo ops around noon. So we went over to the convention center for a little bit. We're looking around there. And I went, you know what? Let's get in this line before it gets any bigger. So we got in Danny Trejo's line, and it was lengthy. So one of the longer lines we waited in all weekend. So probably about an hour, maybe? Something like that. All told. From the time it took him, because he had photo ops, and then he had like a break or lunch or whatever.
Right before we got in that line, I got the ring, and I fist bumped Ric Flair.
Oh yeah. So Sunday was, at least in April, was fist bump day, and he didn't get nearly as many fist bumps this time around, and we were not. To be honest, we weren't there all day for that to occur, and a lot of people kind of ducked out early Sunday. But he did get one fist bump with the ring on by the inventor of swag, the legend, of course, Nature Boy Ric Flair. And I have, the belt signed by Flair, and a 92 Royal Rumble poster signed by Flair. I met and got a picture with Flair. I didn't necessarily need to meet Ric Flair again. And rarely I don't meet people a second time. After I met them, and if I have everything that I feel like I needed signed from them, I don't necessarily have to meet them again. But so we got in Trejo's line, and yeah, it was about an hour all told. And when you get up to the front Trejo's line, it had, your usual offerings of, do you want a picture? Do you want an autograph? Do you want a combo? Do you want a video message? And I went, ooh, color me intrigued. Video message, you say? Well, and you saw the video message, and you're going to see the video message regularly if you watch the channel, because it's going to be in the intro of every video. I said, but what if I could get an actual celebrity to do an intro? And in this case, it's the legend Danny Trejo. The dude's been in everything. Absolutely everything. And, he had a robust line, but, he was moving along, signing everybody's stuff, taking the photo ops. Dude was cool. I said we didn't talk to him a ton as opposed to other people, but as stated, you're going to get as much out of people as the line dictates. If they have a giant line, some people will take the time, others may not. But I don't feel cheapened by the experience. Like, he was cool. And I had him sign the For Dusk Till Dawn print here with Tarantino and Cheech in there. So yeah. And the other thing, so I did get to the table. I was ready to leave today. I was like, you know what? I'm going to hit up that table that had the buy one, get one free to see if there are like a couple like posters that are $20. Figure they'd be like $10 a poster if you got ones that were $20. So I hit up that table and saw a couple I was intrigued in. In this case, I went with a Tom Berenger Major League. As you can see, the Rick Vaughn. There's Berenger Funko Pop here. I love the movie Major League. It's one of my favorites. And they have him with Corbin Burnson and Charlie Sheen. The reason why I got this one, I figured if they had Corbin Burnson and maybe possibly Charlie Sheen, I know he did some cons like a few years back. I don't think he's done anything recently, but for some reason, I know he's done some signings and stuff. If I was able to get both of them on there, that would be a really cool get. They all come with this COA. And the other one I got is actually from my dad. It's Mickey Dolenz, who's the drummer for the Monkees. And, you know, for $10, I mean, really, arguably that's the free one. I couldn't pass it up. I figured he would appreciate that. So, another wind down from Steel City Con, August 2022. Let me know your thoughts on Steel City Con, August 2022. Who did you meet? Who did you interact with? Who did you have a good experience? Did you have a bad experience? Well, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to support me on Patreon like John Bailey did, you can do so. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, a Tomwashere t-shirt, you can do so at Spreadshirt, as well as links to my eBay store, Facebook page, Instagram, Clubhouse, and the Pennsylvania Autograph Collectors Association. Links are in the description below. Steel City Con, August 2022. They have already announced in December Chevy Chase, Elijah Wood, and a few others, Paula Abdul. I'm curious to see who they're going to announce besides this. Let me know your thoughts. Steel City Con, August 2022. But guys, thanks so much for watching. And until the next video, we will see you soon. But until then, bye everyone.
Bye.